I know it sounds a little tricky. стоят на пюпитре настольные. У нас есть и ручной, и настольный. Какой нужен? Он стоит уже, два даже. У него на пюпитре, вот здесь я стою рядом с микрофоном, у нас микрофон на пюпитре. И здесь ручка есть. Стакан, например, вот сюда, в принципе, стакан поставить.
Дамы и господа, наша сессия скоро начнется. Для профилактики и нераспространения коронавирусной инфекции просим вас быть в масках и перчатках в течение всего мероприятия. Также напоминаем, что все трансляции нашего конгресса вы можете посмотреть на сайте congress.eobor.org. Дамы и господа, наша сессия скоро начинается. Для профилактики и нераспространения коронавирусной инфекции напоминаем вам, что необходимо быть в масках и перчатках в течение всего мероприятия. Также напоминаем, что все трансляции нашего конгресса вы можете посмотреть на сайте congress.eobor.org. Дамы и господа, наша сессия скоро начинается. Напоминаю вам, что в целях нераспространения коронавирусной инфекции необходимо оставаться в масках и перчатках до конца мероприятия. Также напоминаем, что все трансляции нашего конгресса вы можете посмотреть на сайте congress.eabor.org. Дамы и господа, наша сессия скоро начинается. Напоминаем, что в целях нераспространения и профилактики коронавирусной инфекции необходимо оставаться в масках и перчатках до конца мероприятия. Все трансляции нашего конгресса вы можете посмотреть на сайте congress.eabor.org. Дамы и господа, мы начинаем. Напоминаем вам, что для профилактики и нераспространения коронавируса необходимо быть в масках и перчатках в течение всего мероприятия. Все трансляции нашего конгресса вы можете посмотреть на сайте congress.eabr.org.
Евразийский банк развития включает в себя 6 стран.
Eurasian Development Bank includes 6 countries:
Армения,
Armenia,
Беларусь,
Belarus,
Казахстан,
Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan,
Россия,
Russia,
Таджикистан.
and Tajikistan.
Евразийский экономический
Eurasian
союз
European
это
Union occupies 14% of dry land, 184 million people, $5 trillion in GDP on purchasing power parity. What are the achievements of this union? Single economic and customs space, united labor market. This is the second in depth in terms of integration, social welfare and guarantees, pensions, acknowledgement in scientific R&D and academic community, the unified customs code, which offers instant clearing as much as 2 times faster. Financial institutions of the European integration, such as the Eurasian Development Bank, the Eurasian Stabilization Fund, and the Fund for Digital Initiatives. Multiple memorandums are struck with Singapore, Vietnam, Serbia, as well as Iran. 85% of products sold and bought throughout the Eurasian space are operating on the state-of-the-art practices, fully in line with the EU integration, to fight the pandemic and to find the best possible solutions. So what are the steps to be taken to propel us to a totally different level, to enter the new reality? We need to deepen and broaden the relationship across multiple areas such as mutual economic trade, mutual investments, building and implementing tremendously powerful integration projects, as well as enhancing the network of free economic trade and good exchange. There's a tremendous transit potential, and we need to tap into it. The Eurasian Economic Union 2025 is a unified energy market that is outpacing the e-commerce, unified digital space, unified financial market. The Eurasian Development Bank. Welcome to EEC.
Для торжественного открытия первого Евразийского конгресса.
Welcome to the first Eurasian Development Bank. And the floor goes to the president and the chairman of the board of the Eurasian Development Bank, Nikolai Podguzov. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome at the first Eurasian Congress. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for coming down here. Thank you, despite the COVID pandemic. Thank you, despite all the challenges, for being here today. Thank you, Rospotrebnadzor and Madam Popova for their contribution to this forum. We are meeting each and every single regulation and making sure that we can actually network and talk to each other offline here in this space in downtown Moscow. Goes without saying that when it comes to digital technology, of course, we all work remotely, and it's kind of becoming basically a routine. But there's something about offline, there's something about human touch. And I believe that now we particularly appreciate what it's like to be able to talk to a real person, to see eye to eye. And it is particularly valuable today, now with the pandemic. The Eurasian Development Bank was designed to mutually develop all countries, all member states, and to promote further development. These Eurasian countries are connected inseparably by history, tradition, culture, victories, and all of that is a strong and powerful foundation for future work. We also brought together by tremendous economic potential out there that by far exceeds each and every separate economy taken together. Now, to unleash that economic potential, that is the ultimate super goal that we want to achieve as the European Development Bank. So, the next year, we are entering 2021, celebrating our 15th anniversary. So we've been on the market for 15 years. We've done a lot. And we will do even more. We're very ambitious. Our goals are tremendous. And there's nothing stopping us. So let's hope that 2021 becomes the era, unleashes the era of collaboration, mutual trust, and joint developments so that we can achieve that incredible economic potential. And that means we can make people's lives better, make this whole space a so much friendlier place. Thank you. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this forum, and it is my great pleasure and a privilege to actually start this opening session with the welcoming address of the Russian Premier, Mikhail Mishustin. Sir, you have the floor. Dear ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, welcome at the first Eurasian Congress. Thank you for being with us today, and I would like to thank the European Development Bank for making this happen. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for this amazing opportunity to discuss the most important topics of today. Thank you, everyone, the government officials, the businesses, international and local experts for joining us today. The Eurasian Union is a tremendous market, and in terms of its potential, in terms of historic ties, is one of the leading regional unions in the world. So our goal is to make sure that we can flourish, that we can do whatever it takes to continuously develop the economic ties despite the pandemic, despite all the challenges out there. So 2021, we're celebrating a 5-year anniversary. So we are, of course, developing in line with the WHO. And since this time, we have achieved a lot, and we harmonized a number of points. We have developed a unified market, unified rules of the game, a level playing field. We are deepening our relationship when it comes to economics, production, commerce, retail, and we're lifting walls. We're making sure that the 4 liberties, products, services, capital, and human capital can move freely. Development institutions such as the European Stabilization Fund, as well as the European Development Bank, are going ahead full steam. And these are the pillars of this integration process. They need to focus on making sure that major systemic cross-country projects succeed. The Eurasian Union needs to enter the new era. We need to continue to blend together, to further tighten this unified market so that capital, people, products, and services can move freely. So we need to make sure that the 4 liberties actually welcome the 5th freedom, which is free exchange of data and information. This is the power of today. And to succeed, we want to make sure that we have single, unified infrastructure. We need to boost our development. We need to move on to the next stage. We want to make sure that everything's digital, transport, energy, human relationships. And in the past 10 years, digital has transformed everything we know. And throughout the Eurasian Union, we need to make sure that we have digital highways that will enable us to extract multiple benefits. So digital trade, e-commerce, is another tremendous opportunity, and we're promoting e-commerce throughout the Eurasian space. Hopefully, we can sign a memo so that we can create a unified male operator. So this is yet another initiative from the founders of the Eurasian Development Bank so that we can exchange electronic messages and mail throughout the Eurasian Union. Yes, we've done a lot, but it's no time to be complacent. We need to further reinforce our place in the world. And this union is about being open to every other country in the world, including the Shanghai Union. We're, of course, working together to make sure that we have friendlier ties with China within one way, and we're thinking about digital highways within the 5 countries of the Eurasian Union and China. We want to make sure that there's still other initiatives, and the pipeline is very, very strong. All that part of building that Eurasian space. And that was the initiative of Vladimir Putin, President of Russia. Despite a very challenging situation out there, despite pandemic, we're doing everything possible to make sure that we can broaden this international collaboration. So the road ahead is riddled with challenge, but we can do it. And it's all about making sure that the Eurasian Union is a truly comfortable and welcoming place to be for businesses and people alike. I'm absolutely sure that the ideas and the initiatives within this Congress will definitely propel us forward. So take advantage of this opportunity. Have a very amazing time at this Congress. Thank you. So, when it comes down to this forum, the plenary session, of course, is the central piece of this event, because we're talking about this integrated space, those integrated processes and projects that bring us together, that erase boundaries, and this should be the foundation of this union. And this is the topic that we're discussing today. This is the topic that we need to discuss. This is something that is absolutely vital to succeed as a union. So, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Businesses and economic development of member states need this, and they want full economic integration so you can achieve economies of scale and you can apply similar regulation and all these transborder, transcontinent projects. Yes, challenging, but doable. So what can we do more? How come that it is so difficult to push forward? Why are there so many pitfalls? Why are there so many obstacles? This is what we're going to discuss today. How can we streamline? How can we fast-track all these developments? So I would like to welcome the chair of this panel, chairman of the board of VBRF, Russian Development Corporation, Igor Ivanovich Shuvalov. Please, sir, you have the floor. Welcome to the stage. I would like to also welcome President and Chairman of the Board of VTB Bank, Andrei Kosin. Please, sir, welcome to the stage. Up next, Andrei Kazimierovich Zhishkevich, Chairman of the Board of Belarusian Development Bank. Welcome, sir. Please take your seat. Up next, Abay Sarkulov, Chairman of the Board of Kazakhstan Development Bank. Sir, welcome. Please, gentlemen, take a seat. Welcome, everyone. So good to have you here today. So, as we have just witnessed, of course, we had Mr. Mishutin's welcome address, and he specifically indicated we are in this boat together, that this is one single Eurasian space, and we've been doing this for the past 5 years, and there is so much more to do. So let me just say that this year is a very, very special year, because 10 years ago, we started this unified customs union. That was the first milestone. And by the way, in 2014, we signed the official memorandum. And since that time, of course, since 5 years ago, we've opened up those borders and we have this single economic space. Of course, there was some interim space back in 1212. And that was single European economic space, and there's been some transition. And I see many of these good friends here, many of the people here today have been part of this agenda and have contributed to development of the situation today. So Eurasia, not everyone is a fan of this word. Some say, well, Eurasia, come on, I mean, there's Europe, we understand, but Eurasia, it's a kind of a very murky term. But it's true, it's here, and it's a very, very powerful region. I mean, for those who know, I mean, of course, we can be very rhetoric about it, we can be philosophical about it, we talk about the culture, about the values, European versus Asian, etc. But we talk about the welfare, we talk about the values, including the welfare. Yeah, what Nikolai mentioned today. We absolutely need to talk about the supranational process. And please, this is very, very important. Treat it as something that it basically spans across end to end, basically full intertwining of projects that span across all member states. These are absolutely important, and at least for the 2 states out of 6, this is of critical importance. And we definitely would like to, we're changing the format, and as you know, we're doing this in its hybrid format. This is offline/online, and they say that this is going to continue, and this is the first ever Eurasian Congress, which is amazing, and hopefully this isn't the last one, and there'll be more. And the fact that the Eurasian Development Bank is now an expert and serves as the platform for this kind of debate, for this kind of discussion, is absolutely tremendous. And we were so happy for this initiative, as Mr. Mishutin just said. So, it just goes to say that, look, in the past 10 years, we've done a lot. We've achieved a lot. And by 2025, hopefully all these limitations and all the bottlenecks, whichever the bottlenecks are, will be lifted. And you have just witnessed firsthand that even on the most sensitive items like finance, fintech, data, oil and gas, energy, power market, all these barriers will be lifted. And there's always been the cornerstone, do we open up the market? To which extent do we open up the market? But they say that by 2025, there will be full freedom. There are no boundaries whatsoever. Now, and I guess number one pain to anyone who is part of this market and those who are part of the government. How come that we still don't have some of the absolutely key projects that deliver not only revenue, but actually create a new quality of life to people, to businesses occupying this space? We need those projects. We need those initiatives. And the first out of 3 sessions is dedicated to making sure that there's free exchange of capital. So let's discuss what needs to be done. Let's think about what we need to install in place to make it happen. Well, you know that the European Development Bank was not the biggest bank in the world, but it has tremendous potential. And we truly believe that this new alliance that is being developed by the Eurasian Development Bank and other development banks can create this incredible infrastructure. And I believe that we can actually tap into this opportunity and find all the right resources and make it happen. Now, without further ado, I would like to pass it on to probably the most experienced of us, the true banker, and not just banker, Mr. Kostin, of course, president and chairman of VTB. And I remember he used to be a diplomat for many years. And since that time, he moved to be a banker, and he said very successfully, I should say so, one of the largest banks in Russia, VTB. And, he's a man of many talents. And yes, for the Russia Calling Forum, and that's the VTB Forum, and he's always there. He's the chairman. It's a big event. Sir, thank you for doing this. We have an incredible lineup. All the best experts are there. It's just truly incredible, and you touch upon all the important things, and you touch all these important elements. So you, sir, as president and the chairman of the board of one of the most important credit institutions, and you also understand what a development bank is. So speak for yourself. Okay, tell me, what are the options? What can you offer as VTB so that we can actually propel all these initiatives and make it happen? Please, sir, you have the floor. Good morning, by the way. So you're the host, right? And you're the most important. So, and why are you standing? I'm sitting in this luscious chair, and you are standing. It's okay. I can stand. It's fine. No worries. I'm just burning calories here. Okay, so as long as you're comfortable. So let me proceed. So VTB Bank has always been playing this kind of a big role, this development role. We're not just a commercial bank. We're more than that. And we've always been thinking about this integration of Eurasian Union, the European/Asian Union. And We're opening branches far beyond Russia, and by the way, we actually have branches in Belarus, in Armenia, we have presence in Kazakhstan as well. So we're spreading across the Eurasian space, and we actually started back in the beginning of the 21st century, and we've been growing since that time. So just a couple of points before we continue. Number one, I think this has to do with, I would say, the institutional development. So let's talk about it. Let me just say that this is a young union. It's true. It is a young union. And we're still growing. We're still developing. We still haven't yet finalized all the, the pieces of this jigsaw puzzle. They're still developing in terms of capital market and many, many other things. It's not enough time. I mean, look, in Europe it took dozens of years, and we're just 5 years old. It's just a baby, basically, and we're still working on the financial space. So, still work to be done. But trust me, we are plowing ahead, balls to the wall, and we definitely need to harmonize our legislation. We need to do more when it comes to banking, when it comes to insurance, when it comes to securities and stock markets. There's so much to be done. Yeah, we have the schedule, and the roadmap is out there. We have the official roadmap for a unified securities and exchange market. This is tremendous, by the way. Russia plus Kazakhstan. Yes, these are different countries, different procedures, and it's not yet harmonized, and we need to do that. So hopefully with this kind of unified legislation when it comes to fintech, when it comes to exchanges, when it comes to banking, we can arrive at a much, much better space, a much more unified and harmonized space. So, by the way, unified payment space, this is super important, so that we can freely exchange it between different currencies. Partially, this has to do with the sanctions from the Western countries, but as you see, ruble is becoming the number one settlement currency in the Eurasian space, which I think is very, very important. And I'm absolutely sure that's something that needs to be done. We need to further reinforce it. So we want to make sure that there's absolutely seamless transition of payment from country to country within this Eurasian space. And that's what we're doing. But that said, we should not actually sit and wait for the infrastructure to be complete. When it comes to legislation, etc., yes, we are, of course, ready to move ahead, and we are fully confident that this is being done. But we, the bankers, can be at the helm. We can be the driver of this integration process. And, we are always fast movers. For example, VTB, my bank, is currently collaborating with ERG. This is the largest mining group in Kazakhstan. We provide funding, we provide lending, and we actually buy materials from them. So we take the raw stock, we then sponsor Talka, which is a major aluminum company. Then we buy finished products, the actual aluminum, billets, and then we actually sell it across the globe. So you see, we facilitate the sell side and the buy side, not just within the financial market, not just within the banking market, but within metals and money, for example, aluminum, right from raw materials all the way to the finished products. That's what we're doing. So that's one of the roles. And like I said, we're no longer a traditional bank. We go far, far beyond. And by the way, we're lending one more major project in Kyrgyzia. This is a gold mining company called Russian Platinum. This is a major Russian gold mining and platinum mining company, and we're providing lending. And again, as a development institution, we are forcing this integration. So we are one of the key lenders, as you know. In Kazakhstan, we provide major funding across Kazakhstan. I would say the total amount of loans provided so far about $11 billion. So that's our lending portfolio at the moment. So what's important to say is that, look, we're also developing unified borrowing market. More and more companies come to us for borrowing. So companies from Kazakhstan and beyond, and they basically do their bond placements in ruble on the Russian exchange. And we're talking about by the way, the ruble bonds are the lowest, by the way, of all the other countries, which is very, very important. And look, Kazakhstan and Belarus came for us for funding, and we see privately owned companies also doing placements. We are currently preparing to do another bond placement for the Agriculture Association of Kazakhstan. So, like I said, we have tremendous projects out there. So, yes, of course, everybody wants to be global. Everybody wants to go out there, the United States, England, etc., etc. But look, you need certain steps. it takes steps, of course. You can't just jump. Like, for instance, we remember we did a placement from Russian, which is a high-tech company, and think about it. So it was oversubscribed. The book was oversubscribed 2 times. So why would you go to the New York Stock Exchange when you can do big placement here? So just goes to show that there's a lot of domestic capital, there's a lot of domestic demand. And sometimes it actually makes sense to actually do a local placement instead of going international. And definitely when it comes to the Eurasian space, there's so many investors that would like to buy bonds and buy stocks. And there's a big trend, by the way, to localize the investor base. So we're not just about developing institutions. So anyone, you have an app, right? You have your iPhone, just open up. So one button and you can buy, sell any stock or any other product. So this market is becoming very big. More and more people become part of this, and this is tremendous. The fact that more and more people actually have this kind of financial literacy and become engaged, become active on the stock market is also very good. And of course, this has to be supported by the regulators, for sure. We want to make sure that when it comes to products and services, this has to be done properly. This has to be an A game. And besides that, also the investment market is growing as well. As you know, VTB Bank, our bank, jointly with other banks, other runners, recently placed the first ever Uzbekistan Treasury bond placement. And this is tremendous. This is a pioneer bond placement, treasury placement for them, and this is absolutely tremendous. By the way, one thing I wanted to ask you, and speaking of our relationship with other commercial banks, privately owned commercial banks, we've had a tremendous experience with privately owned commercial banks as well as development institutions throughout this Eurasian space, including, of course, infrastructure. We've invested more than $17 billion recently in the past 7 or 8 years, so no problem there. We're talking about truly big projects like the Pulkovo Airport in St. Petersburg or some of the major highways and toll roads. These are co-invested, of course, and like I said, we talk to each specific owner of the project, be it Russia, be it other member states, and of course our bank as well as VAP have always been part of these developments. So, and by the way, speaking of infrastructure, this is one of the most attractive areas, and they say it's pandemic, COVID crisis. We need drivers, right? We need new fuel. We need something that will push the economy forward, something that will bring out that positivity. So, and there you go. And look at the budgets, by the way. Everybody's doing cost cutting and things like that. So we definitely need the private capital. We need better relationship with the businesses, private entrepreneurs. I'm talking about the PPPs, private-public partnerships, and things like that. So this has to, this kind of collaboration needs to be on a totally different level. And of course, I'm talking about the development institutions as well. So our role about the VAB, by the way, and Igor Shuvalov is here. So VAB, that you represent as a development bank, is an incredibly important one. And I can give you several very good ideas, like, for instance, the project financing factory. Incredible, absolutely incredible. So with minimum effort, minimum investment, you can provide protection of private investors and private lenders in such important and sensitive areas, right? And to also to reduce the key risks, right? The risks of key interest rates reduction and whatnot. So the role of that as a development institute is very, very important. So, and that is exactly what we do. Like, for instance, the Far East, we're developing ports, right, for marine traveling and marine transportation. The methanol project in the Khodka, incredibly, we're talking about billions of dollars invested. Without the VAB, it would have been absolutely impossible. So we absolutely appreciate Igor Shuvalov's personal contribution and his bank, this development bank that he represents. But of course, at the same time, we need to do a better job at engaging other international organizations such as the Bank for Infrastructure Development, as well as the new development bank, the BRICS Bank. So this is another new one, or the Kazakhstan Development Bank, etc., etc. There's so many incredible development institutions out there that need to be part of this process. We're talking about billions and trillions of dollars that we can engage in this process, and this is an incredible potential that we need to tap into. And what the Premier just mentioned in his intro, the digitalization, that is absolutely incredible. And I know that we all have this very, very high on their agenda when it comes to transportation, when it comes to other services, digital commerce, e-commerce, whether you like it or not. But the world is changing very, very quickly, and we see so many incredible developments, and we cannot ignore it. We cannot stay on the outside, on the side lane. And for example, I would probably. You, of course, could play the lead role, and we, because we have also tremendous developments here, so we can provide digital products, and we have developed incredible capabilities jointly with you, and I think that jointly we can do great things, and jointly with the Premier and with our partners, we can do so much. We can do so much because there are incredible digital capabilities and some absolutely amazing. I've been to Astana, by the way, in Kazakhstan. The level of digitalization is just mind-boggling, phenomenal. Lots of great stuff being developed. So something that we can do together, something that we can definitely contribute to. So thank you.
Спасибо, Андрей Леонидович.
Thank you very much, Andrei. Something that you just mentioned, very, very important. So we need to learn to collaborate not only throughout the Eurasian space, but we also need to engage all the other global development banks and institutions, like, for instance, One Belt, One Way, by the Asian Infrastructure Development Bank. So definitely something that we don't see yet in the Eurasian space, so they haven't yet tapped into this region, but it's happening. It's happening. You know that a representative of Brazil is incredibly excited about what we do here at the Eurasian space, and we definitely need someone's leadership, and credit organizations need to be in the lead. Andrei, you are the master of alliances. Everybody knows that you, like nobody else, knows networking, and by the way, your project lending factoring factory is incredible, and I know that jointly with Sberbank you created incredible opportunities so that everybody wins and nobody loses. So your project financing factory is incredible. It helps so many companies to go global. So you, as someone who can be a mentor in this regard, and we all know that you can take that lead, you can be the leader here in terms of consolidating all the Eurasian development institutions and going beyond, of course, because it's an international organization, so that you can tap into other countries and leading global development institutions. So I guess that this is the true value, but only if you are part of it, because you are heading the BRICS Bank. So we need you on our side as well. So sure, absolutely. So I guess the three of us, right? The Trinity. Yeah, why not? I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. So with myself and Nikolai have been friends for so many years, and you know him for so many years. So Nikolai, so you have our unflagging support. Okay, so please do it. You have all the support, and you can definitely be that centerfold. Okay, you have our support. We pledge our support to your team, your projects, and your bank. So we expect a totally different ball game, totally different. We want you to step up your game, because so far, not that many projects, but I know that you can tap into this incredible pool of liquidity represented by Global Development Bank. So, Kazimir, you're next, and you represent the Belarusian Development Bank. So, Belarus is a friend and is a very important partner, and Belarusian companies are incredible. They produce so many great products and services. We could do so much more. And yes, of course, there's a lot of imports and exports back and forth between Belarus and Russia, but I believe that we're just scratching the surface. We can do so much more, and I truly believe in that, and we definitely appreciate the kind of relationship that we have between Russian and Belarusian companies. So please just say a couple of words on that front. I agree with you. Look, go back 5, 10 years ago, and we had similar targets, the whole unification. I mean, how do we work together? How do we build funding? How do we have those end-to-end funding for the projects so that we have these mutual synergies? This topic has been high on their agenda for so many years. On the one hand. On the other hand, there's always protectionism. There's always a local product. There's always a local project, and somehow it becomes more important than the international one. So it's a kind of a conflict in a sense. But yes, myself and others, look, there's competition. There's competition, and we cannot ignore competition because in terms of quality projects, there are not that many, and every lender needs quality, right? Because you're thinking about, look, everybody wants a monopoly, right? Once you see quality project, you jump on it and you want to dominate. Everybody wants to dominate. So on one hand, we need to collaborate. On the other hand, we want to dominate. So I believe that the way out should be some sort of a non-competition pact. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But what if a national development institute, the Belarusian Development Bank, for example, eyeballing a particular, the so-called integration project, why don't we actually invite you to be part of this consortium so that we avoid head-to-head competition? It is very, very important to actually have this kind of welcome. This is very, very important. On the other hand, I think it would make total sense that Yabr would definitely do the same. For example, every time there's a quality project coming along, there has to be this non-competitive, mindset so that we can actually join forces, right, and have the synergy. I see a lot of mutual advantages. I see a lot of win-win here because, look, on the one hand, the national bank definitely understands that it has local expertise and local infrastructure. I understand that, but at the same time, you can actually provide that additional boost. Why not? Look, just to give an example, for example, the Belarusian Development Bank, when it comes to our own projects, would definitely make sure that all the funds are spent properly. So, by the way, we have construction expertise when it comes to infrastructure projects. We make sure that every dollar is spent properly because we provide a lot of funding, and we make sure that the funds are spent properly. So when it comes to Yabr, for example, when it comes to all projects that are taking place in Belarus, we could do exactly that. Now, that's the first one. Secondly, the co-funding initiative, especially at the early stage. So there has to be mutual underwriting, and when it comes to regulation, the tendering process, and sometimes it makes it difficult. Sometimes there's too much bureaucracy, right? Too many boxes to tick. And I think that we could actually do something like a risk sharing and refinancing, so that at an early stage, let's imagine that the National Bank would consider the project and funding during the investment stage, right? Before the actual maintenance, before the execution stage, and then we'll probably offer a co-funding with the Yabr. So just to reduce the risks of the investment phase. So that we could definitely do. And the third topic, and I fully confirm Igor here, so we're still struggling when it comes to mutual imports and exports of products and services. There are certain conflicts of interests, and this is a huge problem because there's pure competition. Sometimes, how do you avoid double subsidies when the spare parts are subsidized, right, and then produce, and then the final product gets another subsidy? So almost like becomes unfair competition. But again, I'm absolutely sure that we can, do the right thing here and make sure that the value added chain is calculated properly, so that the final added value is built properly, so that there's no that this is well balanced situation, and so that there's no unfair competition. No, we're happy to collaborate with Barafo because, first of all, Belarusian products, and a lot of the final products made in Belarus receive spare parts from Russia, So that is something that we need to do for sure within the bilateral relationship. I'm absolutely sure that we can actually fix this. So from my point, we are absolutely open when it comes to Yabar, and I personally grateful for being here and for doing this and bringing us together. So we will definitely be happy to compete to collaborate with you. You know, and Mr. Mishustin mentioned the partnership during his welcome address, and I absolutely believe that without partnership, without collaboration, it's impossible. Well, sometimes, yes, you want to basically hoard something, but you need to see trees behind the forest, as they call it. And the only way you can do it is when you think in terms of collaboration, when you join forces. Yes, oftentimes national governments butt heads in terms of to provide support or not to provide support. But think about how much more we could do if we can join forces. And the Eurasian market is huge. We're talking about more than 180 million people. It's a tremendous chunk of land. But when it comes to the welfare, we need to think global. We need to think experts. Not just the Eurasian market, but we need to be competitive and to market ourselves globally. And here, both the development mix as well as our sort of trade enablers should work full speed, of course. And what Nikolai mentioned about the power of partnerships, absolutely believe in that. So we've done it on a national level, and we need to actually do the same on the international scale, because there's no way you can actually isolate yourself when it comes to the Eurasian space. You know, this is not an island. We need to compete globally with other markets, and we need to market ourselves properly. So let's talk about the Kazakhstan. Of course, we have our next presenter from the chairman of the board of the Kazakh Development Bank, representing a country that in 30 years have done something tremendous. If you compare Kazakhstan now versus 30 years ago, it's night and day. It's absolutely amazing. So, and we all know, you all know that the mastermind, right, and the founder of the Eurasian Partnership and the Eurasian Union was the first president of Kazakhstan. Yes, and by the way, he's still alive and well, so... And on behalf of the audience, of course, we are sending regards, are sending our love, and nothing but respect. We remember his visit. We remember he actually started this process of Eurasian Union. He created the customs union. It was his idea, and he was a very, very strong sponsor of it. He wanted to make sure that we can do it as quickly as possible, and we actually did it in less than 12 months. So your economy since that time has transformed tremendously. So we're discussing cooperation on multiple mutual projects and things like that. We're talking about China, we're talking about the European Union and other markets. So tell us, you as a representative of the Kazakh Development Bank, tell us, where do you see it? How else can we support each other? How else can we join forces, right, and create that absolute powerhouse that can actually be competitive on a global scale? Tell us about it. Oh, thank you for the opportunity today. And look, when it comes to the actual agenda, it is absolutely vital. So, and something that I would like to talk about. So, here we are, the Eurasian Development Bank. Last year, we joined forces and did this massive project. We provide gas supply to the capital of Kazakhstan. And this project is actually a long-lasting project. It was actually initiated in the 20th century, but somehow they just couldn't take it off the ground. You know that the capital of Kazakhstan gets bigger and bigger, and it spreads, and it's very, very important to use clean fuel. So, and gas is one of the cleanest fuel out there. So, because of our collaboration with the Eurasian Development Bank, we actually initiated this, and we connected so many companies and houses, and our energy company, Transnazgas, initiated this project, and it's very successful. And the pipes, by the way, the pipes came from Chelyabinsk pipe plant. So, again, something to say that, look, this is an A-class deal. So it was co-funded. We funded the construction. We also had all these pipes made and purchased, and it was done so quickly, incredible. So this gas pipeline is now live and well. So it's already working. So next year we are planning to actually launch stage 2 of this project, and it's incredible, and it's already on agenda. We already understand the budget. So this is yet another a poster child for the big project, and basically it was a double audit from the Yabar and from the Development Bank. So we shared the risks, and that said, we reaped mutual benefits. We purchased the pipeline, and the Kazakhstan funded the construction. Right. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win, and that's the way it should be done. This is what it's all about. And by the same token, we should continue with other multiple projects. This is what Mr. Kostin was talking about, that the Russian Platinum, for example, is currently doing this gold mining project in Kazakhstan, and engineering companies also playing big part here. And by the way, there's also an engineering side from Kazakhstan. The funding is from VTB. Engineering and design comes from Kazakhstan, and we also joined the project, and we also provided guarantees against this project. So VTB comes from funding, and should there be any failure or any interruption, so our development bank will guarantee that the funding is prepared. And there's so many great projects out there, but you never know. So, and therefore, we personally guaranteed this project. So the interest payment and other payments on this project, on this loan, will be secure, no matter what. So this is yet another example of this incredible project. Now, speaking of Belarus, we just recently, I think, discussed it at a recent conference. There's so many products that we receive from Belarus. I mean, agriculture, dairy products, fruit and vegetables, and Kazakhstan basically it's a desert. Basically, nothing grows there, not much, and you know that we receive a lot of agricultural products, like from grain, and we receive a lot of farming equipment, and we develop this land, we convert this desert into, arable and agricultural land. And by the way, we need agriculture. We need more technology in the farming sector, so that because we can be a major exporter of agricultural products. So, and the fifth liberty, as it was correctly mentioned, the digital era is exchange of data. Exchange of data. That's the fifth liberty, and I believe that both the financial and the legal and the regulative element should be in line. I see no reason why we should, slow down the project. So it has to be done quickly, and there should be more and more of these deals. End-to-end integration, where there's mutual funding and mutual collaboration and multiple benefits for both Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and beyond. Okay, so look, you represent the banking sector, so you had the Development Bank of Kazakhstan. So the way you see it, how about a capital? So do we have enough capital to power this global international projects? Do we have enough depth? Can we have some sort of a syndicate or an alliance to make sure that the capital is provided against some of these super major projects? Well, no doubt. We have the capital, we have the capabilities, we have the experience as far as the funding base, as far as the legal ground. We have it all. So, and by the way, I think, Igor, you started this project. So you know that we did a lot of work. You did an incredible workshop. So you provide us a lot of expertise, right, on syndication, the project factory, as it is called. We also did a lot on the legislation side in Kazakhstan. And until the end of the year, we are expecting amendments to the law on syndicated funding. So all of these will become enabled because of your support and because of your experience. and we appreciate it very much. So thank you for sharing this expertise with us, this best practice, and no doubt, in terms of projects, in terms of capital, the funding is available. We can do lots of internal, local projects as well as external. We can syndicate on a global scale. Okay, well, what about you? So we support Nikolai, of course, in this regard. And so within our competence, of course, within our domain, within maybe in the next 12 months, we can actually deliver some of the real results, not just the Eurasian Congress. It's a good name, but to make sure that the Eurasian Development Bank now has the capability to actually do real things, right, to consolidate our efforts. Just how real is this? Well, we already had several meetings. We already exchanged the pipeline of projects. We offered several projects on our side. They offered a number of projects on their side, and I'm absolutely sure that within the next 12 months you will see some really, really good results. It remains to be seen as far as the kind of economic impact on both sides remains to be seen. But the more integrated we are, the better. So we definitely need to make sure that the Eurasian Economic Bank continues to serve as the bridge. Okay, then, Nikolai. So now it's all on you. So we are hoping, of course, right? Our hopes, our hearts and minds are with you. So you should be at the helm. You are the leader of this integration project, and I believe that you will have like an expert team, right? And we are very happy to join this team of experts, and we all believe, and we're absolutely sure that when it comes to capital market, the money is available, right? The capital is there, so we can channel it into producing great things, and we support you. But yes, talk is cheap, as they say, right? Because we're expecting real results. In 12 months, we're going to do the second Eurasian Congress. What about logistics, railway, aviation, and things like that? How many projects are you expecting in the pipeline? Well, thank you for your trust and support. I appreciate it. And that said, look, whatever we've achieved so far, whatever we've done when it comes to the Eurasian Union, whatever we have so far, all these great things, all these achievements have become real because of this man, Igor Shuvalov. Not everyone knows, but he's masterminded a lot of these developments, and it is my duty as someone who's been friends with Igor Shuvalov and someone who considers him my mentor. I think that look, we definitely can boost the kind of findings and the kind of projects and everything that we initiated throughout these years. We definitely can take it to the next level. So, it's true, we have the Eurasian Economic Commission. We have developed some really incredible projects, but we are unleashing this new era. So, and we need to add more economic substance. We need to do even more so that we can actually create that multiple effect, so that we can create that powerhouse and enable this kind of growth. We absolutely need to step up our game in terms of our expert potential, in terms of everything that we are doing today. And trust me, it's about joining forces. It's about really, truly major projects, the A-level projects. And don't forget that the Eurasian European Bank is already the prime investor. And it's a unique organization. It's focusing on the Eurasian space specifically. It's dedicated to investing in this space. And I want us to reinforce it through integration, by integrating financial resources. So the idea of the National Development Institutes Coalition, I think it's a good idea. So if we could create that kind of coalition, combining national development institutions like development banks, and by the way, the signage that we did today, I think this is a good idea. And when it comes to this coalition, it can be actually much broader, because when it comes to the world, there's so much money out there, and look at the rates out there. The rates are at historic lows. The funding is so cheap. And all these money needs to be parked somewhere, because they all seek positive yield. And I'm absolutely sure that these banks, these international banks, would be happy to take part and to collaborate with our development banks on these projects. But there's lack of projects in the pipeline. Surprisingly, there's a lack of truly big international Eurasian projects. When it comes to local development institutions like banks and local companies, they all operate, whether you like it or not, within their own agenda and within their own national legislation. So, and the Eurasian Development Bank could play a unique integration role, so to lift them up, right, so that they can actually do what they can never do on their own. Something that is so big and so powerful that they will never be able to do on their own within just one country. It's not just about money. Yes, funding is very, very important, but it's not just that. We need expertise, we need knowledge. We live in a knowledge society. It's knowledge, right? It's the brain power. So, and this is the dominant force. We live in the brain economy, so it's all about the power of the mind, the power of skills and knowledge. And to do this right, we want to make sure that not just capital, but also the skills and this incredible ingenuity, the role of macroeconomic expertise, the role of project expertise, the role of these incredibly smart people is yet another pillar that we need to install. Otherwise, it's never going to fly. Money itself, not a problem, but we need these people and their brain power. And this is something that we need to do more of, for sure. So when it comes to end-to-end integration projects, so we hear this name, but what's in the name? I'm talking about projects that are so big that they will basically serve as the foundation for this whole Eurasian space. And they will enable the 5 freedoms that we are talking about. What are the freedoms, by the way? Let's call it framework. Framework freedoms. Yeah, sure. Framework freedoms, whatever you want to call it. Call it framework freedoms, whatever you want to call it. But let me go for this event. For example, transportation routes, both physical and digital, like roads, for example, right? The road to China and back. There has to be, of course, a tremendous high quality of road connectivity to China and from China, such as food safety, so that we can ensure highest quality of agricultural produce throughout the Eurasian space, or the so-called ORC. So we need that. So also the mailing system, so e-commerce on a totally different level. So we need all that so that we can plow ahead in this very, very important area, or the power market and the energy market. We need more of these, because this is the fuel for the also the water balance. The same for the water balance. Let's not forget that a lot of this potential will be untapped and can only be unleashed only if you enable these. So, but look, it's about technology, right? 21st century is about technology, and it's about digital support. It is about digital infrastructure. So digital is one of the cornerstones, and is definitely a priority for the Eurasian development banks. And it's not surprising that, by the way, we created this Digital Initiatives Foundation, headed by Mr. Sarkisyan. And so we already have the first product. We, maybe an hour ago, announced that it's a digital app, right, for the QR code for the COVID. It's called COVID-Free Travel. And look, it's actually a simple product that we pulled off, and we did it very, very quickly. But the point is that this project, now that we have very, very strict rules, so that we can actually move freely, that we can travel freely, and we can remove all this unnecessary headache that you face, all the challenges and all the blocks that you face when you want to travel somewhere. So it's something that you can, download from App Store and Android and travel COVID-free. So this is just such a simple product, but that alone makes traveling so much more easy, and this is what creates that borderless space. So digital is the power, is incredible power of integration there, as is a very powerful integration driver, and of course we'll continue to do more in this regard. And I just want to make sure that the Digital Initiatives Foundation would definitely provide the digital elevator, right, so that it elevates all these projects and scales it up throughout the Eurasian space. And one more thing, something that is absolutely essential. I'm talking about something that can only be done by the international financial organizations. I'm talking about leveling the playing field. Because look, we need to have uniform standards, uniform approach. This is what makes it possible. We need to make sure that we can expect the exact same requirements, whatever the project. So this is what it's all about. And these are the core principles, these are the founding pillars that we as the Eurasian Development Bank want to actually install our future relationship upon. So I absolutely believe that we can actually do that. I absolutely believe that we can install it. And these will serve tremendously and make the whole Eurasian space so powerful, our economies, and will definitely tremendously improve the quality of life for everyone here. Thank you, Nikolai. Thank you. So we are done with this part of the session. By the way, this isn't over. This isn't over. We started with this question, but we're just getting started because, we keep asking, what about this? What about that? Lack of capital, lack of this, lack of that. So, and we just said that we're going to work together, so we get a syndicate. Also, we have the project funding factory and lots of other projects. And I confirm that, yes, people complain. They say there's lack of funding, that we need more capital. But look, the capital is there. The money is there. So let's talk about projects. Thank you, the panelists, by the way. And I would like to continue the debate. Exactly. Thank you. Still more to come. Okay, can we have the next lineup, please? The next lineup. And since we are here to talk about the projects, we talked about money, we have the money. Let's talk about projects. Okay, and for that, we just need a minute to change the signups. And I would like to have here Mr. Belazerov. Yes, Oleg Belazerov from Russian Railways. I also would like to have Evgeny Dmitriev here from GTLK. And I would like to have Konstantin Mikhailik from Rosseti, Deputy CEO on Digital Transformation of Rosseti. Gentlemen, welcome. So let me start with Oleg. I know that Oleg is not only head of one of the largest railway companies in the world, RZD, Russian Railways. It's one of the largest corporates out there. It's absolutely phenomenal, and it's a monopoly. And so, regardless of digital, railway is railway, Russian Railways is actually a very innovative company, and we do a lot together, digital, financial, etc. And we definitely hope that they will continue to support us. Alex has an incredible team, and quite recently, by the way, we started, as you know, we started buying, by the way, their bonds. We think that this is a very good bond. So for our pensioners, in terms of yield, so the bonds are performing really, really good. But the reason for the bond placing is that you can actually invest in this incredible infrastructure. So please say a word or two from your side. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for having us here. I mean, to see the audience, the real audience, real people, amidst the COVID, and instead of the Zoom, This is incredible. I mean, this is a happy day for me. This is a human touch. There's nothing like it. So it's such an unusual time. So to actually have a physical audience is absolutely amazing. So, as far as Russian railways, we're doing great. We're doing fine. We have incredible projects in the pipeline, and of course, I mean, there are certain specifics. But when it comes to when it comes to railway, it has certain limitations. And there's been some limitations, of course, because of the COVID, and we actually managed to pivot. I would say that we got lucky. In terms of integration, I would say we actually turned out to be the best possible way to travel. Because airlines got stopped, borders got stopped. I mean, got closed. But traveling by rail, actually, fine, doing great, doing amazing, no problem there. So, by the way, we're doing it all digital, and we can send a train from China to Eastern and Western Europe, zero paper, no problem, completely seamless rail transportation. An incredible project, and the output is absolutely amazing, and actually human-free, by the way, fully automated, digital rail road transportation, rail haulage. Incredible. And I would like to thank. Come on. Yeah, I know. But yes, I'm good. But thank Nikolai, by the way. You thanked me enough, but thank Nikolai. So I think that credits go where credits is due, and it's all about Nikolai. So look, the fact that we have this railroad connectivity between Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Russia, the fact that we can actually operate throughout this Eurasian space, and we have Algolokai, so that we can do container transportation from China to Western Europe. And by the way, when they actually put it on my table and they said, look, this year, as we speak, today, as we speak, we've done 500,000 containers. Just think about it. 500,000 containers. I remember the beginning of the year, we were discussing 320,000, something like that. It was all rosy, and I gave a call back, like, guys, are you pulling my leg? For sure? I mean, is the number wrong or something? They said, no, we outperformed it. So, I mean, sorry, sir, but, it's actually higher. The actual number is higher than 500,000. It's incredible that we've managed to transport that much. So what are we doing exactly, and why integration produces such an incredible cumulative effect? Paper-free, totally digital. So we don't need to talk to humans, all digital, completely man-free railroad cargo transportation. So, like I said, it's an end-to-end tariff, right? There's no stoppage, and thank God we have. And we're talking about our forefathers that developed actually the railroad that has the same width, that we have the same width. So we can, the train can actually travel non-stop because the railroad has the track has the same width, which is great, by the way. And this produces this incredible result. So thank God for that. And from the global standpoint, we also see some tremendous change out there. And don't forget that, as usual, we compete with the marine transportation, and we're talking about Trans-Siberian Railway, and there's always been the problem of rates. And now, finally, we see some incredible situation. China is supplying tremendous number of containers, cargo, to the United States. Then the United States doesn't bring it back, so it piles up all these containers. Or these containers need to travel empty. Think about it. So the marine rate is up. The marine rates are up all over the place. So it's cheaper to do it by rail, and it's actually quicker to do it by rail. And because we're talking about transcontinental, so think about it. And the freight rate, marine freight rate, is becoming uncompetitive. So, and it's actually cheaper and quicker to do it by rail than by sea. So, and Ogatilka, we offer we travel at tremendous speed. By the way, I thank Russian Mail, by the way. and they're doing so much. And Maxim will also cover on his side as well. So we've dramatically increased the amount of e-commerce cargo. And by the way, we're also doing it en route to Europe, 4, maybe 5 days, and the cargo from China ends up in Europe. Think about it. We're covering 1,200 kilometers per day. 1,200 kilometers per day. We're almost as quick as air travel. Think about it. Pretty incredible that we can actually travel at such tremendous speed by rail. So, and the opportunity is incredible. And what you just said, so the support, and by the way, it's great that Igor, by the way, was, high-speed railroad transportation between China and Europe. And we thought, hey, this can be both cargo and people. And it is possible. Yes, we need to have a truly high-speed railroad connectivity between China via Russia and to Europe. That's what it's all about. And look, like I said, guys, they said that the money is there, the funding is there, so no problem. Absolutely, we can do that. So all we need is the power of will, right? They say that when there's a will, there's a way. So, of course, we need to talk to experts, but I'm absolutely sure that we can have a high-speed railroad connectivity. This is an incredible project so that people and cargo can travel at tremendous speeds and compete head-to-head with airlines. Okay, anyways, one more thing. Something about the agriculture. So, and again, so that we can transport all these farming products throughout the Eurasian space at tremendous speed. It's been an explosive, exponential growth of farming product transportation, and this has never been done before. So we're talking about the mixed cargo. So we have a platform, electronic platform, and this is so we connect rail, road, airline. So we also collaborate with Finland. So incredible opportunity. So please join our platform so that we can, go seamlessly, omni-channel cargo if you want to go. And like I said, it basically 2 + 2 = more than 4. I absolutely believe you that. Look, no country alone can do it. It is impossible. So pretty amazing. So one more thing. Oh, by the way, the perpetual bond, the Russian railway placement. So this is it's a brand new investment approach, and because of your competence, because of your ESG competence, we, for the first time ever, issued a green bond, perpetual green bond. And this is amazing, by the way. This one got oversubscribed, just like hotcakes, selling like hotcakes. Thank you for doing this, and this competence came from you. We're very, very big on ESG, and integration, of course, has to take into account the environmental aspect. Yes, the green bonds actually got to be very, very successful, and you met the so-called international green standard. This is not some sort of a local stuff. No, this is fully certified according to international best practices. And we had experts, and everybody said, look, this is like a world-class, pure green bond. So each one of the ways, this is something to learn from. This is state-of-the-art investment through green economy, through partnerships and sustainable development. So, since I'm the host, I can't let you go without asking 2 questions. So, the digital agenda, because up next is Konstantin from on the digital front. So, speaking of the digital, one of the digital challenges, and not just for Eurasian, not just the Eurasian space, is traceability. right? The proof of origin. Yes, we're doing labels, and yes, we're doing traceability of the vehicle itself. But what are you doing as Russian Railways? What are your plans? Do you need capital for that? What exactly do you need? Maybe skills, capital. So how can you ensure full traceability of containers and the actual products and routes? So please tell me about it. I think many who are involved in this business would like to know. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for doing for the question. And this one is very, because it's all about containers. Then we see how it goes, and we see that because of the digital container cargo is now doing so much better. And this is the first question that said, look, how can we trace our cargo? We'd like to see it in real time. Where is the container? What's with my cargo? And people want to know, right? And the marketing department wants to know, where's the cargo? How many more days en route? Now we can do it. Now we provide this kind of traceability. Not complete. I'll be honest with you, not full way, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Traceability is definitely improving. And by the way, we have a special degree from the government there's a special tag, basically, the so-called sanction. This is for sanctioned products. Well, give me an idea. So, exports and imports, when is it going to be 100% traceable? Do you have any deadline for total traceability? Well, you don't. It's okay. It's okay. Don't stress about it. But I think that we can do it. Within the next 12 months. But a number of these transactions, for example, that tag, right, is definitely traceable. So there are several routes, several destinations where we ensure that kind of traceability, full traceability. Okay, but speaking of mail, we all use mail, including myself. So, and let me ask you this one. In this day and age, people want to know, where is my mail? All right, where's my package? People want to see that, and it's a big challenge. People want to make sure that they know where the mail is, where is it okay, not okay. So, anyways, we're talking about this whole Eurasian framework, and the railroad is one of the pillars. Okay, so what about that bridge? Are you going to build it? Yes or no? Yes, there will be a bridge. The question is when. Okay, I see your point. It's all about when. It takes time. So because I meet so many different people and the business owners that actually develop their products, and they want more and more ports, the Far East ports, not just the Primorsky, the Khabarovsk, and the Far East of Russia. They want to see better ports. And they say that this will require additional capacity. So and that means that there'll be more workload on railway. Do you have that kind of bandwidth? Can you ensure that kind of capacity? Look, we're not stopping. So we have the visibility study, and yes, indeed, there will be additional things to be done to make sure that the ports have no bottlenecks. But you're absolutely right here. So as far as, look, yes, the flows change and the demand has shifted. Geographically, the demand and supply has shifted. So what we need to do, we need to combine the two. And trust me, I'll come back to you for help, for guidance, and for money, of course. So on the one hand, this project that I'm talking about is absolutely economically positive. Yeah, but I was wondering when, because, VTB has tremendous competence. So Mr. Kostin named this number, right? So $17 billion. So why don't you work together? Why don't you do the feasibility study and run the whole economic audit? Because, look, it is so the politicians are saying, and I have never heard one major argument from the economists. So the politicians, they do the talk, but we need to also make sure that it's economical, right? But that's the topic that we're talking about today. I mean, not just slogans, of course, but making sure that it's actually economically profitable. Thank you. Okay, Rossietia. Sir, you're next. So Rosseti and Eurasian. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shuvalov, and thank you, the organizers. It's good to finally be part of the offline event. And instead of just sharing data, I can actually share emotions and feelings. It's good. So when it comes to Rosseti, we actually see two things. First one is what we have always done. This is our core business, and this is the transporter power transmission. This is what we do. Rosseti, as you know, is a unified power operator. So, and we have more than 79 major power grids that connect the Eurasian space. So, and as you know, that we create a unified power market starting January 1st, 2021. So, and of course, we need to align and to make sure that there's proper competition between the 5 countries to have one big Eurasian power market, power exchange. That's very good. That's a great initiative. But if you look at the past 10 to 15 years, there's been a tremendous shift in terms of the way the power market operates. So, I mean, for example, there are the so-called prosumers, not just consumers. There are people that actually both consume power and produce power, because there's also, green energy, renewables. There's power storage units, so that there's also distributed power and storage systems. All that means that it's a totally different ball game. It's no longer one big company supplying power and everybody's buying it. So it's a market now. It's a market. It's not just a utility. For instance, in Armenia, by the way, they say that up to 26, one quarter of power generation in Armenia will be based on wind, geothermal, and solar. Think about it. And by 2030, Kazakhstan says that it's going to do 10% of the total power consumption from renewables, and then up to 30%. See, and all these have to be integrated into the input. Yes, just like Russian railways, we inherited the legacy of our forefathers, the legacy of the Soviet Union, and in the Soviet Union it was all built on the unified specifications. So Rosseti, we're not only operating the infrastructure, but we're also operating R&Ds that the Zhanovsky Institute, and they are behind so many innovations out there. And like I said, and for us, the ability to talk to other member countries, because we all graduated from the same universities, we all speak the same power language, we understand how the grid works, right? Because we all inherited the Soviet Union, and in the Soviet Union, all power grids were built on using the same specifications. So that means that we can compete head to head with other third independent countries. So, and the Russian railway projects and the Rosatom and Rosseti projects, it's a priority for us, of course. Priority because it's such a big market, and we're planning to collaborate on a framework basis, offer our competence, and with the proper help from the credit organizations, from you, and I'm sorry for not yet answering. So digitalization. Speaking of digital, look, the fifth liberty, right, is the free exchange of information, data, and by that, it's not just about talking for the phone or things like that. No, digitalization, digital transformation for Rosseti. And this is what we started, by the way, back in 2017. So digitalization changes the way we do things, just changing our operational approach. And we've spent these 3 years to develop simple, clear-cut solutions. For example, that up to, I would say, 40% of our regional grid is fully digital. So, and it took us 3 years, yes, trials and errors, back and forth, one step forward, 2 steps back, working with suppliers, vendors and whatnot. But now it's there. It's so easy to scale up, very, very easy to scale up. For example, the Kozlov transformer plant, we can provide digitalized equipment, digitalized power equipment. So we basically transform the whole supply chain. There's no human involvement, it's fully automated, it reduces the OPEX and increases the output, and therefore it is very scalable. So any new item can be connected almost instantly. So because it's a modular approach, something that we're very, very excited about. And also the dispatching unit also becoming fully automated. And it's all based on the Russian software, so that the power grid can be operated in an automated way. And there's no cyber attacks. Remember, Venezuela and other countries, they had major attacks. So this is fully secure, and this is easy to scale up. So it is all based on, look, all of our partners in other countries, they all operate in the same way. So, and it's very, very secure from a digital standpoint. And the idea is to make sure that our technical specialists become, also digital, no paperwork, trying to eliminate whatever takes up space and time, right? So like to make sure that it's seamless, end to end, so you don't have to fill up all the paper, ticking boxes and spend also, like a table, that's it, electronic signature, 2 clicks, done. It's a tremendous potential. Just think about the production, think about the output, think about the boost in performance per worker. So, and we're not doing charity, of course, we're being pragmatic here. And by the way, the signage that we just did, we were part of the signage. This is going to be tremendous. And trust me, this, yes, there's some front-loading effect, as we call it, yes, but over time, this will create an unbelievable cost saving and performance improvement. Interesting, thank you. By the way, we have very good partnership with Russian Railways, and we've talked about it, and the fact that, we also a very big sponsor of the urban environment, urban economy. So in the past, they would wonder about cost. How much is this? How much would it cost me to carry 1 ton or one this and one that? They become much more holistic. So not just the financial, but the railway. What is the value? What kind of effect is the railway station actually puts on people? Understanding that we all live in the city, and does it make our life easier, or vice versa? So, for example, I talked to one of your local heads, for example, Россети. So just for many people, it's like a rail track. No, not true. That's electricity that we consume. We're here in this room. I don't think you understand that Россети is one that supplies power. We are here because of Россети. This whole building would be powerless without Россети, the man that sits here, right? Because they supply power throughout Russia. So, and we need to think holistically. So, and look, I believe that we can actually unleash this new wave where this big network companies will actually start thinking family, household, right? When they put household in the center and start providing services and products on a human-centric level. Of course, if you need capital, we'll be there to help. Sure, absolutely, thank you. And this is very, very fair statement. So, and we definitely try to do that. And one of the key goals for us is go from being an infrastructure company to retain the best but become human-centric. Well, of course, and during the COVID, of course, mobile apps and things like that. So, and this coming year, 2021, the consumers, via the app, for example, you leave your home, and you forgot to actually turn off your iron board. So just press one button, that's it. Lights out, on, off, smart houses and things like that. Exactly, yes. It's a good idea. And of course, we need to upgrade the whole grid, right? I mean, the whole power grid. But, it has to be rooted in family values. It has to be rooted in a household. Okay, so you're young, you're talented, you've been around, and now you are at the helm of this incredible leasing company, and the chairman of the government decided to actually create something new on that basis. And of course, we also will transfer a lot of our assets to GTLK, so you will have more assets under management, leasing assets. Without traveling, without means of transportation, without city transportation, without public transportation, you can forget about quality of life, right? So people in the city, they need public transport. You know me, you know everyone here. So give me your vision. Where do you see all these projects that bring together stakeholders and at least 2 countries, at least 2 out of 6 countries? How do we make sure that we can ensure the highest possible quality of living standard? Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. I see so many friends here, so many familiar faces. And it's so much easier to actually speak when you have all the people around you who support you and you have all the professionals. It's almost like it rubs off you. So, I feel completely safe here and confident. So, and let me first of all support what the chairman of the government said in the very beginning. He said that the Eurasian space should be about borderless, seamless transition of power, capital, people, products and services, finance, etc. So that's what it's all about. Seamless transition, seamless transportation, seamless exchange. So, and it's great that we can combine this together. So transportation is the blood vessel, right? The blood vessel, physical blood vessel. So in our case, my competence is making sure that these blood vessels, these arteries, so they are filled up with transportation that is the carrier, and that makes sure that you can actually fill this blood vessels with blood. We are the blood, essentially, that fills up the blood vessels. So as far as GTLK, you know that we had a rating confirmed by Fitch rating agency as a high rating. So they love us, they trust us. We have great relationship with rating agencies and using web. And again, it's a good tradition here. So just to cherish the tradition, thank you, by the way, for such a prudent, such a wise approach to our relationship. And I see multiple synergies between us, between all development institutions out there. So we definitely see tremendous potential. So, and the assets that we have at GTLK and the web leasing, for example, and other companies represented here, there are many, many ways that we can collaborate and definitely enhance the overall space. So, and I would like to thank you for this. And the role and the scope of GTLK, our company, as a big, powerful, unified leasing company, and GTLK as a unified leasing company. So, of course, we'll be happy to share our competence when it comes to transportation. So, as Leonid Kostin recently mentioned earlier today, that we should be the drivers of future development. And look, this year transportation is a totally different ballgame because of the COVID. And some of the flow chain has interrupted, supply chains interrupted, a lot of disruptions, and because of the pandemic. But thank God we see the demand recovering. But that said, our leasing company is counter-cyclical. We are counter-cyclical, and so there's always this lagging demand, right? And by restructuring payments, we actually offer our counterparties, our agents, to feel absolutely safe. And then in the future, I absolutely believe that, look, I know, yes, the transportation volume is down, but it's recovering, and hopefully that all of us together, we can actually bring back the volumes to the pre-crisis level. And from Mr. Zhizhkevich, he said that, look, somebody, when it comes to new projects, somebody has to step in and take the lead, and GTLK, my leasing company, is one of those companies. So, of course, we have our home turf, right, such as public transportation, urban transportation, things like that, railways, metro wagons, and things like that. And something that is new for us is the Murmansk port, seaport. This is a brand new project for us. So, and it's not just about money, but it's also multiple synergies. So we're talking about the railway that needs to be connecting the port with the rest of the land, making sure that it has enough capacity to move cargo to and from the port. We have the expertise there, we know how to do it, and I absolutely believe that we can definitely provide it to the Far East as well as other parts of Russia that require this kind of infrastructure. So speaking of digital assets, we talked about digital assets. So this year we decided to actually, enhance our relationship with the Russian mail. Of course, it takes things to be done to further enhance the relationship, and I have no doubt that we can do it. We're talking about equipment supply, not just transportation, not just infrastructure. We're talking about equipment supplies. So as a leasing company, we can provide the right equipment so that we can speed up all these integration processes. So you mentioned the time frame. So you mentioned the timeline, right, and traceability and things like that, and transparency, and providing this transit tax, right, the people that are, the sanctioned products that actually travel across Russia without stopping in Russia. And there are lots of such products that go from east to west, from China to Europe via Russia, and everybody wants to be able to trace, right? It's not just the safety, right? But if there's a seal, if the container is sealed, you can be sure that the product is safe, or if there's any interruption, then you can always trace it back to the culprit. So, and this also gives you this real-time traceability. So these are technologies that our partners, by the way, in Europe and Asia and beyond already possess. We could do the same. This definitely offers much more security and peace of mind. And finally, I think you mentioned one thing. You said that all of us together, what we do here, everything we do. So look, it has to be there. Making people's lives easy, improving the quality of life. Because this is, routine. This is every day. For example, that we supply city transportation, so such as buses, such as rail cars. So about 8.5 billion rubles. So we're talking about 500 new, public transport vehicles to 12 cities of Russia. This is a long-term project, and this is a 4-year project. So this will be completed by 2024, and this will improve the quality of life of at least 350,000 people, in multiple cities around Russia. So, but what's important is that the regions are also stepping in. So it's not just the budget that we convert into assets, into physical assets, but it's also funding that is provided by the bankers, so that we can supply new equipment and new transportation. So, and I would like to say thank you to all of our partners. We are a reliable partner. So we had 2 Eurobond issues totaling more than $1 billion. So I truly believe that the fact that we're getting stronger because of this integration, because of web leasing and their support, I absolutely believe that we'll be more powerful and we'll have additional opportunities on bigger scale. Thank you, Evgeny. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Look, there's so many questions out there, and people are wondering, so this GTLK is a powerful player, right? Are you going to compete with other leasing companies like Sberbank, VTB? Are you going to create alliances by, creating more and more exposure and higher risk? So please give us some idea. So what is the key role of GTLK as a leasing company? Because there are other leasing players on the market. What are you going to do? Well, there's a reason why you actually mentioned that the representative of VTB is a mastermind, the master alliance creator, master deal maker. So I absolutely believe that as a leasing company, GTLK will of course operate as part of an alliance, as part of a consortium. Of course, it depends on terms and conditions, but I'm absolutely sure that it's not going to be a head-on competition. I rather believe that it's going to be an alliance. So yeah, we're going to have support and compete at the same time. Where necessary, where possible, we of course will provide synergies. But other than that, I absolutely believe that look, how we can sort of provide support, not just competition. And yes, we do respect our partners as Burbank and VTB in terms of the leasing departments, and they are some of the most powerful, some of the most important leasing companies, and we definitely respect them, and there's enough work for everyone. There's a big market, there's enough work for everyone. Okay, since we're here at the Eurasian Congress, why don't we actually get to know leasing companies better, right? Because which are the ones that are part of this Eurasian movement? Yes, true. And I would like to announce something. So, that GTLK is the co-owner of NRB Bank. So, and because of that, one of our key priorities is supporting leasing projects throughout Eurasia. Well, thank you, and I'd like to thank the participants of this part of the session. And yeah, thank you. And so we have actually two major companies joining us today, and representatives of the Russian Mail, Mr. Akimov, as well as iPost from Armenia. So please, Mr. Kapretyan, would like to see you here on the stage. So, Ike, let's start with you, right? Let us start with you, and so Armenia joined. Was one of the latest countries to join the Eurasian space. So tell us what's happening in Armenia. So are you feeling any benefits from this unification? And what about the capital and free capital and banking capital and infrastructure development? Are you enjoying any benefits? What about your partnership with the Russian Mail and other mail companies? Sure. Thank you. So thank you, the organizers. I appreciate it. And look, it's of course, it's a very positive trend, and just the numbers, just look at the statistics, look at the numbers. It is definitely a very, very positive impact on the Armenia's economy, the fact that we're part of this union. We're definitely benefiting. So, I joined the Armenian Mail in June. I'm a new member, and thank you, Alexei, for supporting me. So, we had a quick chat, and it's clear that we need to have a new paradigm, the new approach to our collaboration. So when it comes to the overall space, and we're definitely trying to reduce the costs of mail exchange, right? And because there's International Mail Union, so we thought that look, we need to compete globally. So we reduced the cost of mail exchange by three times. And just within 1 month, we actually boosted our volume by 5 times. And this trend continues, by the way. We're very happy. We recently signed an additional agreement, and the tariffs for end users will be similar to Moscow. Basically, it's a major step forward. So we install basically domestic prices on transnational shipments. So you pay 400 rubles and you get a delivery from any store in Moscow and vice versa. This is an incredible achievement, and this has boosted the volumes so much. And by the way, one more thing. So when we say Russian Mail or Armenian Mail, no, it's a bank, it's an IT company, it's logistics, it's e-commerce. It's no longer traditional mail. It's just called mail. It's just a wrong term, actually. So there's so much more than just mail. For example, Russian Mail is not just a mailing company. It's a huge. For example, they have this electronic mail exchange. For example, electronic mail that works really, really well. And we looked at international standards, ECA 43. This is an international standard, and so only Italy did it so far. And we definitely need to do something like that. We need to do a Russian standard. And this will help connect Russian and Armenian mail. So we could do transnational mail exchange. So we can actually send direct mails transnationally between two countries. I think that will definitely provide a very good push both ways, and both countries will benefit economically. Good, thank you, Maxim. So, and you also need to wrap, because we're supposed to actually wrap it up very soon. You've always been a super manager. You're always very, very knowledgeable when it comes to the government and the ways of the government. You've been with the government for ages, so you know what it's like, and you've been at the helm, and now you represent Russian mail. Okay, so we have this Eurasian space. You are a powerful Russian company. We are planning to promote multiple financial products via Pochta Bank, which is a joint project between Russian Mail and VTB, and I'm sure there's more to come. Right, when it comes to investment activity, when it comes to this whole Eurasian activity. So tell us about it. Yeah, maybe just a couple of details about that, but make sure that the audience is confirmed, because I guess you need a break. I'm sure we all need a break. So, but still, thank you, Nikolai. So as far as myself, I feel at home, by the way. Nice place. We signed another memorandum, trilateral memorandum, with between Russian Mail and Sbelpochta and Kazakh Pochta. So great, between Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. And I just mentioned the fact that, look, we can do direct email. So we have more than 32 million unique digital clients out there, and the fact that we have mobile audience is improving. So, and by the way, the fact that it's Black Fridays and things like that, e-commerce is boosting, and everybody wants tracking. Everybody wants to know that the delivery is guaranteed, which is good. That's what we're doing. So we are offering new products and services. But look, Nikolai laid down the foundation. And it's fun. It's great. It's great that we're doing this. And it's great that we can provide this market with new services and opportunities. So, sure, every country has a president, and this whole Eurasian Union has a chairman of the government. We have bankers, we have leasing companies, we have entrepreneurs. These are all very, very important people. They're all very important. And these are market leaders. They set the bar, right? They do it. But let's give it another viewpoint. So, for what we do when it comes to mail, the number one person is the client. We're all about the client. Some said it's about 180 million. That's a very important number, 180 million people, because when it comes to digital, it's about scale. You are as important as the number of clients that you have, especially when it comes to digital. Digital is about scale and scope. So, and you need to go big. It's go big or go home. And an average check would be small, from $1 to $20. That's an average check per person. But look at what's been happening. All these people, they made a choice, right? The overall consumption is down. Offline trade, offline retail is, as you know, not doing very good. You know that. The recent Black Friday, the shopping malls are empty. But at the same time, look at the e-commerce. It's booming, many times over. So they made a choice. They're not just running; they're sprinting towards e-commerce. So they recognize the benefits of e-commerce, and for us, we have to transport. Look, any mail company, it's a legacy company with legacy infrastructure, and there's this thing called metabolism. There's the so-called corporate metabolism. There's slow corporates, incumbent corporates. Can we actually respond to it? Can we step up our game? Yes, we can, because we transport each and every package that you then shop online and order online. We are the ones that deliver to your door. So, that's it. Look, on one hand, you have 180 million people. On the other hand, you have this tremendous expertise, right? And if we can do that, if we can tackle that, then for sure we can compete and we can win. It's not easy, but we can win. And for that, of course, we need great offline infrastructure. We need to collaborate, and we need to. And when it comes to infrastructure, when we say e-commerce, somehow they label this, all the branches and self-service. I mean, e-commerce is about drop-off. It's about drop-off. This is where small and medium-sized companies can actually put the product on the shelf. This is the drop-off. And if we can give Armenian companies, Kazakh companies, Russian companies that access through drop-off, that can be a tremendous input. And besides that, trust, mutual recognition. And this is super important on the national level. Electronic signatures and electronic ID, right? Traceability, transparency, safety and security. You ought to make sure that whatever we ship, that is paperless, completely paperless and seamless. And that is what can boost the competition. That is what will make us competitive across the globe. And this is what we're doing. This is what all the nationals and transnationals are eyeballing right now. And this is what it's all about. I absolutely believe that, look, if we can do that, if we can have a Commonwealth approach to it, right, we can then definitely meet the challenge and provide that seamlessness. And we can make money, we can be profitable, we can improve the quality of service, and we can be where the government wants us to be, because let's not forget that we also have a major social responsibility. Let's not forget that we supply banking, we supply retail, we supply things that nobody else can. And of course we can offer transit. Of course, it's also a very, very important thing, because for third parties, when the product starts in Asia and ends up in Europe or the United States, and for that we use partners, for that we use, of course, lending, we use trade finance and things like that. So, and like I said, it's all about providing alternatives so that we can compete with air. You know, that railway is about 10 times cheaper than traveling, but then delivery by air, right? We can successfully, and we are successfully competing with marine, right? Look, the point is there are multiple pockets of opportunities, but this is not something that is on the table. We need to fight for it. We need to be speed and power and quality, right? If we can change quickly, we're gonna win. If not, we'll die slowly. For instance, Brazil Mail lost 30% of its market. 30% of its market. So, and basically disappeared from the whole map. They're no longer on the map. What about U.S. Mail? They're all subsidized. U.S. Mail is subsidized. Right, and my two annual balance of Russian Mail, that's the amount of subsidies that the U.S. government is paying U.S. Mail for them to even be sort of on the surface, to stay afloat. So, like I said, we need to be super quick, and with that, I think we can definitely win. Well, just to continue on what you just said, we need to definitely speed up the whole corporate metabolism. We need to be quick, right? We need to change quick. We need to pivot. So that is very, very important. And it's great that you have, by the way, a very good lobby. We have Nikolai, right, in the banking community. Nikolai knows this stuff, and he actually has been formerly employed by the Russian Mail. So I'm sure that he will take care of you. You're in good hands in terms of... And we have Tigran, by the way, and Tigran offers, he's the head of digital initiatives at the Eurasian Development Bank. So through these kind of joint activities, sure, Nikolai, so you're not only at the helm, you're not just a leader, right, not just an expert, but you are actually a great enabler. So let's not forget that, no, we need to make it seamless in digital as well. We don't want any pushback, we don't want any bureaucracy out there. And guys, for those who don't know, for the first time ever, when it comes to digital agenda throughout the Eurasian space, it was Vladimir Putin, St. Petersburg summit, that I think took place several years ago. And he did it very cautiously, and everybody said, like, what? Like, unified digital space? But now, look at us. We're doing this. So, anyways, So, Maxim, to say that, yes, this is a heavy incumbent company, and it takes so much effort, and there's so many ingredients. So please, don't forget that you, as the company, you impact and you touch lives of each and every person in Russia, every branch you have, and you are everywhere, right? You have this tremendous Soviet legacy infrastructure. So don't forget that you touch people's lives every single day. And we're there to help you use our help, like Russian railways, by the way. Look, you got to make sure that every railway is great and every branch is great, because that's what makes life good or bad. This is what makes a city look great or not so great. Don't forget that it's not just, electricity. You're doing so much more than that. Okay, so it's time to wrap up. Thank you for being with us today. We're done for this session, and we actually need to move on. And with that, I'd like to give the floor to Nikolai, by the way, because we need to sign the official document, and the document is ready. And Nikolai, please tell us just a couple of words about what is this document and how we're going to sign, because it's digital signage. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We are sort of a little bit over time, but it's okay. It's okay. We had to discuss it. Thank you. Look, when it comes to the Eurasian Development Bank, and look, to ourselves, we need to concentrate capital. We need to break down the boundaries to create something new, right? And look, a bank that is in charge of it, a bank wants to be the leader. Look, Nikolai, I'm telling you personally, dude, you are at the helm, so you are pulling this weight. Do it. It's do or die. So balls to the wall. Be bold, be courageous. Not the ones that you used to find in Kazakhstan and some Russia. You need to go truly big. Look, this has to impact at least 2 countries, minimum of 2 countries within the Eurasian space. At least 2 out of 6, and preferably more. So, Nikolai, please take it away. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, first of all, I would like to thank the host, right? Thank you, Igor, for doing this. Thank you for being a masterful chairman of this first panel. So, Igor, really enjoyed it. Seriously, job well done. Thank you. Very nice and seamless. Look, honestly, I see this whole event, to be honest with you, as a bit of it's almost like a roadmap for me. So all these people are my mentors, and all these people have played a tremendous role in the development of the Eurasian space, and they continue to push this forward. And there's something that continue to improve the agenda. So, anyways, without further ado, I would like to announce the official signing ceremony of the coalition memorandum between the development banks within the Eurasian space, Eurasian Union. So, and as far as the signing ceremony, it's very symbolic on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's real. It's real. Because look, by signing it, look, there's no way back. Once we sign it, there's no way back. By signing it, we therefore declare that we're going to work together and we're going to co-invest and co-promote this integration project. And we have to deliver, and we have to present it within 12 months during the second Eurasian Economic Forum. Think about it. So when we're back in this room in 12 months, we need to show real things, real achievements. And that's why we're doing this. So, for the signing ceremony, I would like to have on this stage Chairman of the Board of Russian Development Corporation, VBRF, Igor Shuvalov. Please, sir, welcome back. Also, Chairman of the Board of Belarusian Development Bank, Kazimir Zhishkevich, and Chairman of the Board of Kazakhstan Development Bank, Abay Sarkulov. This is going to be a digital signing ceremony. Yes, digital. Right there. So we need to go. Yes, you need to go there. It's already very, very digital. So what are we doing next? I hope you guys can tell me how it's going to work. So we're doing this both offline and online at the same time. It's magic. So we are supposed to actually, sign this digital device. And I guess that once we sign it, they're going to actually project it on the screen, and everybody will witness this process of signing. So there you go, right there. You see, signatures. 4 signatures are there. Done. Signed. Congratulations. I think we're actually done for the plenary session. Thank you very much. We need to move on. Thank you, and hopefully you'll be back. Thank you.
Торжественное подписание соглашения коалиции банков развития состоялось. Спасибо участникам. Просим вас сделать общую фотографию. Дамы и господа, наша сессия скоро продолжится. Напоминаем вам, что в целях нераспространения коронавирусной инфекции необходимо оставаться в масках и перчатках до конца мероприятия. Все трансляции нашего конгресса вы можете посмотреть на сайте congress.eabr.org.